game, and is anyone feeling confident, and can Forest produce an upset? Because we goddamn well need it. Welcome to Grumpy Old Reds. Good morning, good evening, or good night, wherever in the world you are, whatever time of day you're watching this. Hope you're having a fantastic day, and welcome to the weekend. Welcome to Good Friday, and welcome to the nervous pot that is what is going to happen tomorrow. And Dino, young Dino, little Owen Dino, how you boys doing?
Good, yeah. We had a sort of proper game of football today, but we'll talk about that later.
No, we won't.
No one cares about that, Dino. Seriously, just drop him, man. Who cares?
No.
Oh, God, boys. And good to see you all in the chat. The chat is lively already. How are you guys in the chat doing? Let's say a few hellos. Nathan in the house. Good to see you, Nathan. Crypto saying Wood would do well somewhere like Notts County. I don't think he'd get into the Notts County team, to be honest.
He wouldn't.
Viking, how are you, Viking? Good to see you. Tim, good to see you as well. James is here. Would love to know the story behind the Wood signing. Oh my God, you lot are all Wood up today. Rob saying LFG, come on you Reds, gotta beat those villains tomorrow. Stoney's here as well. I said for a while MG Dub needs to rest, but I fear it's too late to rest him as he's been crucial for our final. It'll be crucial for our final few games. We got loads of you in here. Robbie, good to see you. If you've never said hi before, get your highs in now. It'd be good to see some new names, but we love seeing the loyal ones as well. Kay, good to see you as well. Gregory, good to see you. We need some Coops magic. We will be talking about the so-called Coops magic. Mark, good to see you. Keith as well. Shadow, hit that like button, guys, if you haven't already. We are building up to our 10k party. Let's give you an official number. We need 78 more for the big 10k party, so hopefully that will be done sometime very soon. Nathan, it's good to see you. What are you lot talking about? The Hull game? What Hull game? Who cares about Hull, man? Riley, how are ya? Pat, good to see you in America. Sharky's in the house as well. Graham, what I'd do to take those 3 points seriously. Eddie, nice to see you. Lucy, good to see you here as well. Simon, Zipstick, cool name. Jolly Ollie, the legend. So many. Hedgie, good to see you.
Some new names. Lovely
to see these new names as well in here as well. All the gangs in the house, apart from one. Yeah, maybe seeing we're missing a certain Senor Scent.
We've got a young, a young old red here, a grumpy young red. So it's my son Owen.
All right, boys, let's jump into this discussion. Ant's on the wine already. A full bottle, Ant. I think you may need a couple. I want to try. Look, I'm going to be straight with you guys. I'm not in a good mood. I'm not looking forward to tomorrow one iota, and I'm looking for someone who is on the panel. Is there anyone who's filled with even a smidge of optimism just to help me along, man? Because I'm crapping myself about tomorrow. Dino, we're talking about optimism for Forest, not Notts County, yeah?
No, Forest.
All right, go ahead. Go, give us your opening gambit.
We're going to win because anything can happen.
You still think Shelby's going to score from 30 yards, man?
No. Shelby's gone. That, like I said the other day, that's drifted down the river, that premonition. I'm never going to trust a premonition again. But if he does score a 30-yarder off the bench, I'll claim it. No, I think that Cooper knows he's not stupid. He knows that he's not got to the end of the season. So who's Mini Dino? It's my son Owen. He's better looking than me. He's 13.
He's also more knowledgeable on Forest than Dino as well. We're thinking of upgrading. Yeah, we're thinking of upgrading.
It's not difficult though, is it, to be fair?
I mean, he doesn't think Shelby's going to score from 30, do you, Owen?
Never.
Has he asked you the big question yet, Dino?
What's that?
How long have I got?
Mate, he won't lose it because he takes after his mum who's got thick hair. Thick air.
Oh, and that's what all bold dads say. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like being bold. That's fine.
I remember it. I remember watching a Simpsons episode once where Homer really wanted to annoy Bart, and he just turned to him and he goes, "Boy, just to let you know, hair loss is hereditary from your dad." And Bart just screams, man.
He will be fine. Now, going back to the game, it's going to be interesting because Cooper, obviously, no, he's not stupid. He knows it's just a stay of execution. It's certainly not long term. So I just think he'll change it up tomorrow. I really do. He's got to.
What are you thinking?
He can't play the same way. I know you were talking earlier about low block, He won't do that because it's not worked all season. So if he does, he's stupid. He's stupid if he does. So he has to change it up. Whether he changes the formation and matches a 4-4-2 as a really left field formation to match with Villa's 4-4-2, maybe it wouldn't surprise me.
But do you think mentality-wise he's going to go attacking?
He's got to be more attacking, yeah. Whether he'll go gung-ho with the formation, but he'll definitely play... Well, when I say definitely, my opinion is he'll play a higher line.
Problem is, there's a truism, and most truisms are true, that says a leopard never changes his spots. And managers can be incredibly stubborn. I mean, you've only got to look at Conte with Tottenham. Everybody was screaming about his tactics. Wouldn't change it.
Yeah, but he sacked himself, didn't he? That's the difference. Talked himself
Yeah,
out
but
of that
is
job
Cooper
once.
about to do the same thing, Dino?
Well, if he wants the job, then... I mean, he'll be stupid if he doesn't change something up.
But I've been
Keep
thinking
doing the same thing over and over again and expect different results. I'm sorry, you just can't.
But I've been thinking that all season, every away match, thinking this time it's got.
Yeah, but he's been supported. That's the thing. He's been supported by the fans. He's been in this bubble of Cooper love.
But that's
You've got a lot of Cooper love from the fans. Let me finish this answer. Sorry. I was talking. Let me finish
Go
this.
on, Dino.
Right, he's had the fans in this Cooper love bubble, and then at the end of that, when he was under pressure last time, he got a long contract. So now he's been told immediate results and performance.
Go on and jump in, because I think I know where you're going with this. And?
No.
And listen, mate, I was talking.
No, I've forgotten, Dino.
Oh,
Okay, all right, let me jump in. It might trigger your thought process. Here's the thing I'm thinking, right? If I'm Cooper and I've been playing this negative low block football this whole time, and it's been in the media all week that I'm losing my job, and then suddenly, Eddie, thank you so much for becoming a member.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. If that happens, and then I get backing from the fans and I get backing from the board, do I not suddenly feel more powerful and more like almost being told that the style I'm doing has been accepted and therefore I can carry on with what I'm doing rather than a need to change? Is that kind of where you were thinking, Ant? Does that empower him more by
I definitely get what you're saying, but that's not what I was going to say. What I was going to say is I'm not sure Cooper knows how to play any other way. Because people go on about last season. We played low block last season for most of it, and we caught teams on the break. So I don't know if he can change.
You're right, because the Swansea fans were saying the same thing, weren't they, Ant?
Yeah,
they were like, the reason they fell out of love with him towards the end was because he went into this more negative style, and they just got frustrated with it.
Yeah, because when he first came to Forest, obviously we started winning games and it was fantastic, and it was, and we were scoring goals, which was also fantastic. I was getting all these messages from Swansea fans saying, "Oh, it plays boring football. It's too safe," and we were going, "What? What are you on about? What are you on about?" But it's come to fruition again, and he's had plenty of time this season to change that style away from home. Plenty, and he's not changed it at all.
100%.
So
does that make sense to you, Dino? Does that make sense? What I'm saying there? Can a leopard change its spots?
In fact, he could double down on it. He could think, I need to be even more defensive.
I agree with that.
Well, I'm all for, I trust. Listen, out of the two, if it was to lose Cooper or Marinakis, I'd want Marinakis to sit at our club over any manager, because what he's done for us goes way below the radar. I mean, we talk about Cooper, we talk about this, that, and the other, but Marinakis, he's just what he's done for this club is amazing. And he's obviously listened to the fans, because the vast majority of the fans in the ground are singing Cooper's name. Yeah. So he's obviously listened to the fans on 2 occasions, because this is his second stay of execution. But if he doesn't change tomorrow, his tactics, his style, his approach, then for me, he's no good for us. And that's when I will turn and say, this manager's no good. But for now, I'm supporting our club, which includes Cooper.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not
me
a Cooper
too.
fan.
We all are.
But I'm supporting the club. Yeah, I know you all are, but...
Yeah. It's gone again. I'm having a bad one.
It's that wine already, Ant. All right, Simon's asking for Owen's thoughts. Yeah, let's get a refreshing, fresh set of brains on this, right? Owen, what are your thoughts on Cooper? Are you miserable like your dad? Or no, your dad's a bit deluded tonight. He's a bit spiced up with his thought process. Must have been the spicy food from Ez, but I don't know. Yeah. But has it gone to his head? I don't know. Owen, I would love to hear a younger fan's approach, because these 2 old farts have seen the good times before, yeah? I'm assuming you, Owen, you're about a little younger than my 21 years, yeah? So you probably haven't seen the Premier League era before, have you? So Championship is all you've known. So how do you feel about what you've seen this season so far?
I think... It always comes back to this low block playing. In the second half, it always is. We start winning, and then that's it, straight back to the low block. And I think Cooper just needs to realise that and get these players to carry on going forward. Because if we don't do that, then we're going to get the results we're getting now.
Yeah. See, I'm going.
I mean, in one sentence, you've produced more sense than your dad has in months. So congratulations.
Do you know how many points we've lost from a winning position?
20, isn't it?
It's now 23. It's now 23 because you got to add the Leeds one on.
Leeds.
Yeah,
23 points for a winning position.
That's shocking.
Can we just talk about these possession stats as well?
Go on.
I don't know if anybody's seen the possession stats, but at home, we are the bottom of the league for possession. Obviously, Sarah.
No, you're going to say something that surprises us yet, Dino? I don't know.
And second, and away, we're second to bottom. Now, I know Ant makes a point that...
Wait, sorry, Dino. Who's worse than us away from home, then?
Was it? I think it was Bournemouth. Let me just double check.
Oh my God, the poor Bournemouth.
Got to be Bournemouth or Southampton.
I took screen grabs of it.
Can it be West Ham? Because West Ham have got the lowest points alongside us as well.
Talk amongst yourselves while I just check.
All right, okay. But I mean, it's not really surprising, is it, Ant? These stats and these figures.
They're like 30%, and that's at home. And it's the thing is, we're obviously not getting enough good quality gill test chances. If you don't have if you haven't got the ball, you can't score. So I take Ant's point where he's always talking about possession. There you go. You took more sense than all of them. Sorry,
it could be Southampton. It could be Southampton. Yeah, it could be Southampton. But I would say this, right, to counteract the argument. When Leicester won the league, I think they won it. Now, don't quote me. It's somewhere around like the 38% possession mark, right? And they won the league and they won it quite. Let's say Spurs and Arsenal lost the league that season, right? So is possession the be-all and end-all? Because last year, again, something you mentioned a lot, Ant, we were never a possession-based team last year, but where we were good was in the transition. I think we've lost that this season.
Yeah, and you know the worst thing is I love possession football. I love my team to have the ball. I hate sitting back and so, look, I don't mind us having 30% possession against top 4 teams if you like. But when you're having 30% possessions against the likes of Wolves and Leeds, that's not right. That's not right. They're not great teams. They're not great. Yeah. So that's where I have a problem.
Bournemouth. It was Bournemouth away. And I agree, it's not the be-all and end-all, but it certainly helps if you want to score, having a bit more of the ball. And I think the lack of possession has dropped our defence back. I think it's going to change a bit more now because of Niakate and Felipe. They're solid centre-backs, and that will give it... It should theoretically give everyone else confidence to get a bit more forward. Before, we were protecting the back four. in my opinion.
The worrying thing is as well is that the team we've got to start this new exciting, adventurous football against is Aston Villa, who are the third best team on form in the league.
Yeah.
I think they've won like 5 of the last 6. They're a good side.
But can I just to wrap up on this possession thing? I've just pulled up a stat here. Remember when we beat Swansea last season 5-1, where we tonked them? Yeah. How much possession do you boys think we had that game? And chat, give me a number from 0 to 100. What's your?
I was reading.
Swansea last season 5-1. How much possession?
How much possession did they have?
We
We were at home. We were at home.
Yeah, we counter-attacked, didn't we?
36.
Was it 5-1?
Yeah, 5-1.
Yeah.
I think we counter-attacked that game, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got
Probably about
38,
40.
Yeah, we could have
I'm
had
going
10.
36.
36. And what did you say, sorry?
34, I think I said.
34. CC saying 34. 43 from Ollie. 41, 31. 30, 33. A lot of 30s, a lot of 43s. Swansea dominated the ball. 28 from Jack. It was 30.
Yeah.
30%. You know what the
Yeah.
difference is, though? I'll tell you what the difference is. As Nick, thank you so much for the one
Thank you,
night.
Nick.
That's so generous of you.
£1.99, Nick Clark. Cooper's got more belief than Ted Lasso tears of joy.
I am going to touch on that in a second because that belief line is starting to piss me off, man, because all I'm hearing is Ted Lasso. But to answer the question, we had 30% possession against Swansea, right? So possession, you could argue, and we tonked them, didn't we? At no point during that game did I feel, even when they equalised, wasn't it late in the first half? I still knew we were going to win it.
We were 1-0 up and they equalised late on. And I was absolutely stunned. I thought, how can this happen? We've had 10 chances, so we could have been 10 up. You know what I mean?
Here's the stat. How many shots did we have in that game?
God, stop asking. Just tell us.
27 shots.
I was going to say 27. Damn it.
27 shots, 17 on target with 30% possession, right? So that's the difference. That's the difference between last season and this season.
Mate, the possession calculator was broken that day. Just as a counter argument to that, of course there are exceptions to every rule, but by total home and away, I'll give you the top 6 teams in the league for possession: Man City, Brighton, Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, and Man U. The bottom 6, from bottom to top: Bournemouth, Forest, Brentford, interesting, Palace, West Ham, Everton. So, in a roundabout way, the teams with less possession are down at the bottom, and the teams with most possession are up at the top.
I agree. But the point I'm trying to make here is the difference, the fundamental difference between the way we played last year and the way we're playing this year isn't the style of play, right? It's the fact that we were still, against shitter teams, able to create chances. This year, we can't create the same amount of chances. Now, if you think about it, right, we had 27 shots and scored, I say, only 5. Right, that kind of tells you, you know, to score 5 goals, you have to have 30 shots in the championship. I'm looking at this in isolation. It'll be different in other games, yeah. But that ratio is going to be not the same in the Premier League. Do you know what I mean? Where we're probably creating, on average, I would guess maybe 8-9 chances a game in the Premier League, and we're only converting 1 or 2. So I think that's the fundamental thing. If he wants to play the style of counter-attacking football, then the transition needs to be better in the Premier League in terms of the pace of the transition. Go on, man.
And that's been one of our biggest problems all season, is that midfield not passing the ball forward. That's been one of our biggest issues all season. So if your midfield is not passing the ball forward, you're not going to score goals. If you're having a low block, counter-attacking, but your midfield doesn't pass the ball forward, you're not going to score goals.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty well proven.
But
so therefore, you have to change something. If you've not got the players to do that, you have to change the way you play football.
But Owen makes a great point, Ant. He says we had 17 shots, and I've just pulled the stats up for the Wolves game. Now, we had 27% possession here. We had 17 shots, of which 7 were on target. We converted 1. And Wolves, who had 73% possession, shots 8, shots on target 1. They scored with the 1 shot. However, what I would say about this Wolves game is that 73% possession was nowhere. It was in, nomad land.
We have to qualify possession. Possession centre backs passing it between each other, that shouldn't count towards possession stats, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
Possession stats for me, they ought to start doing it so it was only forward passes.
Progressive passes, yeah.
Passes counted as possession, because otherwise your two centre backs can be there all day doing that.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where our 23% possession comes from. 22% was probably passing it. Anyway, go on.
No, it is frustrating. And then the new things that are coming now, there's some like really interesting new stats that I'm going to start building into some of my in-depth analysis. Let me just quickly see if I can just share the screen here. I don't know if this will work. The new thing they're doing here, piss off us. Let me just add this in. I just want to show you guys very quickly this. Momentum is something that's getting quite hotly talked about at the moment. So if I just make this big, if I can figure it out, there you go. This was Forest versus Wolves, and this is the momentum of the match. Okay, so where in red was where Forest were on top, in yellowy gold where Wolves were on top. Now this is why I got annoyed. And when you look at the stats, it does back me up. You can see the clear change at half time. Yeah, you can see, although Forest had some momentum in the first half, you can see the spikes of the momentum were really high. They were like spiking right here. Whereas Wolves' was quite flat, which shows you that there was a lot of passing left, right, and centre and backwards going on between them. And then we scored our goal off this sustained pressure of momentum. But then look what happened at half time. We got the lead, and then what do? Is bang. It's all Wolves all the way through, with the odd blip of Forest on a counter-attack here and there.
Counter-attack blips, aren't they?
Sorry?
They're counter-attack blips, I agree.
Yeah, exactly. So we did create chances off it, but you can just see that sustained pressure eventually causes a crack, probably from one of their worst chances, a little deflected shot into the path. But this is why I don't feel confident in a lot of matches now, because when we do take the lead, what ends up happening is, as Owen rightly mentioned, and great point, Owen, we end up going deeper and deeper back and playing, the Arabs would call it inshallah football, which means basically pray to God that we can hold on. So it's even against Leeds, we saw that, didn't we? We scored the goal. It was a fantastic goal to start with, but was anyone feeling confident that we would hold on to the lead or even hold on to a draw with it, So these are the things that are worrying me for tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm not confident of holding on to any lead.
Why?
Just because of his tactics.
Why would you be?
So I'd like to see him, if we manage to get a goal tomorrow, I'd like to see him just stick with it and keep going. A bit like Leeds did against us, by the way.
Yes.
You noticed that right to the final whistle.
Yep.
And probably 10 minutes left, they bought off a striker, and guess what? They bought on another striker.
Not Worrell.
Like for like. We don't do that. We take off a striker and put on a defender. And that, I'm afraid, is one of the downfalls this season. One of the many downfalls, not all attributed to Cooper, in my opinion. We've had lots of downfalls this season throughout the club. So
I just want to, again, this is the Leeds match, okay? I know I'm just harping on this new momentum toy I found, right? You can see, again, it's a very similar pattern. And it shows a lot of counter-attacking football, doesn't it? It's like the times this is what's annoying. When we do get some sustained pressure, we start to score from it. This is where we got our goal, when we picked up the ball a bit. But then look at the wave and barrage of non-pressure. It's like we scored and then it was like back up, back up, back up. And you can see that it got bigger. The pressure was getting bigger and bigger and bigger until they eventually scored. Now in the second half, we came out a bit. It's a little different. It came out a bit, but again, the majority of the sustained pressure was Leeds until the end. And even here, at no stage towards the end did I feel, these are the last 5 minutes or so, I feel we were going to get a goal. But it's definitely a repeating pattern across the season. And this momentum really does paint an interesting picture, in my opinion.
But Wolverine, the clubs surely have all these statistics.
Yeah.
But what are they doing with them? Because that can't look good to me. I couldn't look at that as a armchair manager and say, that looks really good, that does. We could stay the same every week now. It makes no sense to me. Like I said the other week, they've got bloody drones following them around at training. And what good is it doing? Just play the game simple, play the football, play the ball forward, stop pissing around at the back and take shots at goal, because that's how you're going to score. And stop being negative, trying to not lose.
You only end up losing if you try to not lose. That's
course
right. Look,
you do.
I don't want this to turn into a fucking depressing
No.
stream. I really don't. I want to like start to
Right.
see if there's any hope and any positives on it. But at the same time, we got to be realistic. And the point I think I'm trying to build across is what has changed since the Leeds game to now, apart from the club coming out and announcing that Cooper's in charge for the Villa game. Does anyone expect there to be anything different having happened in those 4 days? I know, Dino, you've alluded to it in terms of you think a new formation, etc. But Anne, what are your thoughts on this so far?
No, I don't think anything will change. If anything, like I say, it's more likely to put an extra defensive midfielder in there. I can't see anything positive at all. I am actually wondering, cynically, whether Marinakis is actually trying to sound out a new manager, and he just needs to keep Steve Cooper there until he's secured him. And that's why that very, that statement that was put out that all the Forest fans initially were all swinging from the rafters about is very, very ambiguous. To at least, he stays as our manager. Okay. Improvements have to be made immediately. This wasn't like there was no. He stays at our manager till the end of the season. We have total faith. It was he stays at our manager. Results have to improve immediately.
Results and performance, he said.
And performance.
Yeah.
That's a key word. That's a huge word.
Yeah.
So obviously,
He's obviously sick of it, isn't he?
Marinakis is not enjoying the way we're playing either. It's
Yeah.
one thing to have a swashbuckling style of play like Leeds have, but not get the results. So you can say, look, I'm not happy with the results, although the performances are okay. And then it's all shit, which is what it's basically said. It's crap. The performances are crap. The results are crap. That's not an endorsement of your manager. And it's got to improve now, immediately. And I can't think of many worse places to have to do that than Aston Villa away at the moment.
It's tough.
It's so easy just keeping him in whilst he sorts something else out. I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know.
If we line up the same and have the same mentality, we'll lose tomorrow, handsomely. So something's got to change. And if it, like I said before, if he doesn't change, then I'm sorry, he's thick, and he doesn't deserve to be a Premier League manager for me. But still behind him, hoping he turns it round. If he does,
I fully agree. As I said in the video today, Marinakis asked us to back them. He said it's on us, it's on the players, it's on everyone to build up and support. And of course, come 3 p.m. tomorrow, we're all there screaming their names. Yeah, but I just want a bit of realism tonight in terms of I want everyone to understand how serious the situation is. I think obviously our chat are smart, right? They are. But there are certain aspects of the fan base that think we've won the league because Marinakis put that statement out the other day. And that's the bit that worries me. And there's been people who have come out and said, if he goes after Villa, I'm ripping up my season ticket. I'm selling you were telling me, Ant, about it. I'm selling my season ticket. And that probably pisses me off more than anything I hear, because you are literally saying, I'm Cooper FC, I'm not Forest FC, with things like that. I don't care who the manager is at the end of the day. All I care about is the club doors are still open and that they're still playing football. Yeah, we've been through enough managers in our time before, and we will outlive and outlast Cooper, no doubt. Yeah, we'll still be here if he goes on to bigger and better things. When he does, we'll still be here. And
yeah, so at the moment, I've said on here, I'm Cooper in at the moment because he's our manager, and I will always back our manager, until he's not our manager anymore. What I don't understand is people that are blindly Cooper in. It's as bad as being blindly Cooper out. I don't like that guy, get him out for no particular reason. It's the same thing by being Cooper in. Because I would say to somebody that is Cooper in no matter what, because I've heard that a lot as well, don't care what happens, if we go down, I don't care. So the people saying Cooper in no matter what, I would say, what is he showing you as a manager? And this is a question, this is not me having a dig, it's a question, because I'd like to know the answer. What is he showing you as a manager that makes you believe that he's the right man to get us out of this particular situation? Because you might say the players, but you've got to make your mind up. Either a manager is vital or he's not. Because you can't say if a manager's losing games, it's the players' fault and not the manager. But if the team's winning games, what a great manager is. You can't have both. The manager is either responsible for the performances of the team and the results that come from that, or is not. There can be circumstances that mitigate that to some degree, but not over this length of period, not over three quarters of a season. After 3/4 of a season, you should look at your manager's performance, the team's performance rather, and the results and say, right, why is this wrong? It's either the manager's fault or it's not. You can't have it both ways. That's all I'd say.
I think you make a great point. I'll counter your argument as someone who would sit against your argument. Obviously, I don't. I agree with what you've said. What they will say to you is that if we go down, Cooper is the man to bring us back up. That is the from the book, page 1 answer you will get from anyone who gives you that debate. So what do you say to that?
I would say what Steve Cooper did for us last season was magical, and it will always be remembered.
Miraculous.
Always value and respect for that. But if we go down, people must understand the consequences of us going down. All these players that we bought in are not going to stay with us in the Championship. A lot of them will want to go. A lot of them will have to go. So therefore, you're talking about starting over again, practically with a new squad. There's no guarantee that this manager or any other manager is going to gel again, that new squad, and drive us to promotion as if it's simple. It's bloody hard getting out of that Championship. We should know. You lot should know. It's hard. And a whole new set of players playing the same negative football might not work this time. And if you look at Watford and Norwich, neither of them are in the top 6, I don't believe.
True. Yeah.
No guarantee. So we're here now. We should stay here. That's what's important. Not thinking in your mind, well, it's okay because Coops will bring us back up again. Doesn't work like that. I'm sorry.
It doesn't work like that. I agree. Could I just comment on what Jeremy's put? Hi, Jeremy. Cooper's had 8 months to change. Same old. I've not got any say over Cooper, but I do agree with Ant that I think some fans have almost, careful how to put this, an over emotion towards him because of last year.
I'll say it. They're Cooper FC. I'll say it.
Is that because they've never
probably
seen
worse than
Forest
that.
have success, and so to them getting promotions like winning the European Cup? Is that the reason they're so dedicated?
But it was Marinakis that gave him. It was the fans, I think, that saved him last time round, and I think it's the fans that saved him this time round because I think he would have been guaranteed gone. Now, if he turns it round, oh my God, fantastic! But let's say he does turn it round and we stay up, which I think we will stay up. I'm brutally honest. I think we'll finish 17th. Right? If we do that, the downside for me will be the Messiah. He saved us again. Yeah. The thing I want to see next season is quicker decisions, a firm set of players that he's not going to pick. He's played 40 players this season. 40 players. Ridiculous. He's obviously been hampered by injuries. There's something not right there. I know we've banged on about it before. I'm not saying it's the medical staff, and before we get into an argument.
It might
I don't know whether they're training too hard, they're not training. There's something not quite right there, right? And I just want to see a couple of tactics that can work home and away with a regular squad, much smaller squad.
Yeah,
that's what I want to see. But I want to see him be able to adapt his, for what I see, a single-minded approach to every game, home or away. It's the same approach.
You know where I stand on this? I don't think that. Unfortunately, I don't think he can change the way he coaches, the way he plays. I just think that is him. He's been doing it for as many years as he's been coaching. That's what he's been coaching. I don't think he's likely, or not necessarily likely to change, but I don't think he's necessarily able to change. Now, I'm going to put out something now that will probably get me ripped to shreds, but what I would like Steve Cooper to stay as manager, get us into 17th at the end of the season, keep us there, and then change next season. And you know what? I wonder what the chat think of this. This cannot happen. It's impossible. But let's go along with it for a second. Would people like Cooper to stay in as the scenario I've just said, and then next season, if we had the chance to swap Cooper for Unai Emery, that's the kind of manager I would like to have seen come in.
Could have had him earlier in the season then.
Huh?
We could have had him in October.
Yeah, no, we could. But like I said, that's why I say it's not possible now. But he's the kind of manager that I would have liked to have seen take over, because Steve Cooper has taken us so far, and I'm concerned whether he can take us any further from what I've seen tactically and in-game management, etc. So I would like us to get a more progressive manager in the new season. Even though it's kept, the point I'm trying to make is, like you say, people are going to go crazy if he keeps up. He's the Messiah. And it'd be the Messiah to me, but then I'd want a new one at the end in the new season.
Oh yeah. Oh, you better wear bulletproof vesting at the next home game. You know? I mean, seriously, that's what it gets to with this. But I completely, fully understand what you're saying. You're saying Cooper's got to the top of his glass ceiling. He's at that level now, and to take the next step. And I don't. What is the problem with that?
It could surprise me, but from what I've seen, I've no reason to think that next season is going to become this ball-playing, attacking type of manager. I don't think he will ever. I think he'll stick with that same thing. And to be honest with you, I said this all along, I can put up with 25-30% possession this season to keep us up.
Yeah, you have.
Next season, if we stay up and we get another influx of money, etc., I want to see us move forward. And I don't think that Steve Cooper's necessarily the manager to do that because of his style of football. I get fed up watching us sitting there watching the opposition have the ball all the time.
Me too. I think that's my biggest complaint, the lack of possession. And I know we've just already discussed like relative to goals and chances and things like that in particular games. But as a football fan, I want to see my club play around with the ball. And
we know the difference between possession for possession's sake, passing exactly. And proper possession, and that's what we mean when we say
40% attacking possession is better than 60% sideways. I know what you mean.
100%.
Yeah,
100% will do. Yeah.
Can I just further back up Ant's point to what he's saying, and maybe this will help. Maybe some of these people who don't understand what you're saying there, Ant. If you look at Harry Potter, what's his actual name? Graham Potter.
Harry Potter, it's fine.
Harry Potter. Everyone knows who I'm talking about. If you look at what he did with Brighton, he took them to levels, didn't he? He established them as a Premier League team. He got them in and around the low European spots, etc. But when he then made that next step up to Chelsea, they literally were calling him Harry Potter. The players, I've seen reports on it. He couldn't hack it at the so-called Big Six club. And you've seen it before with the likes of Moyes. Remember when he went to Man U back in the day, when he did a great job at Everton, and that almost ruined his career. That stint he had at Man U. You've seen it with so many other managers. Look at the ones that, what's his name? Villas-Boas. He was terrible when he went into Chelsea. There's other managers like that who there is a step that's too far. They've reached where their peak is, and they can't go any higher because they can't sustain that level of pressure, or that they can't demand the authority in front of players. And I kind of think you're saying that, aren't you, Ant? But obviously in a different scenario, different level. I'm just giving a hypothetical parallel to it, yeah? I
mean, look at Conte, this supposed great manager, went to Tottenham. Fucking hell, man. Nobody wanted to watch Tottenham.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted to watch Tottenham. Tottenham fans, whilst they were like getting into fourth with being above Arsenal, they were kind of putting up with it. But as soon as they drop below Arsenal, which is their, big trophy, finishing above Arsenal, as soon as they drop below Arsenal, the knives started coming out. Shit football, hate it, get rid. Because that kind of football only works if you're winning. And in this day and age, it's not winning.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, we've discussed Cooper, we've discussed it. I personally think if I see a performance tomorrow that is in line with the Leeds performance and other shitty performances we've seen all season, then I think we have to roll the dice. I'm sorry, I don't care who it upsets, but I want Forest in the Premier League next season. And there is no guarantee if the dice is rolled. Crypto Rider with the 79 pence, thank you so much, buddy.
Thank you, Crypto.
You absolute legend. What I'm saying,
79 pence, Crypto Rider.
Thank you. What I'm saying here is there's no guarantee if Cooper, let's just say Cooper was to go tomorrow, or Sunday or whenever. There's still no guarantee that someone comes in and sweeps up and saves us. I mean, look at Leicester. I mean, there's talks they're getting Jesse Marsh. Chappie, if you're watching, enjoy Ted Lasso. So there's no guarantees of it. The problem with all of this is it's too late. It's too late. But you may as well roll the dice, in my opinion. Now, I don't know if others would share that opinion or not, but something has to. Maybe we can get a manager bounce. It's 3 freaking wins we need, man. and the fixtures, just as you look at them now, they scare me. I've written off tomorrow. I know I shouldn't, but that's how I feel. Dean, I want you to jump in. Before you jump in, we got well over 200 already of you in here. 75 likes. Guys, you know what I'm going to ask for? Please hit the like button. If you're new here, please subscribe to Forest Fan TV. It's close to the big 10K. Yeah, but
We
Dino,
are so close.
your thoughts on that, Dino? If, let's just devil's advocate up here, if we play crap tomorrow, is it too late for a change, do you think? Or is it worth the dice roll?
If we are bad again tomorrow, like showing no passion, just simple skills and technique, and a non-changing formation and a non-changing mentality, then I'm sorry if it's making you more depressed. It's making me more depressed, actually.
It is making me more depressed, and I don't know how to lift the mood.
Then I would say that we have to make the change. Like Cooper or not like Cooper, I think for the sake of the club, whether it's going down and coming back up, if he's not going to change that predictable style that people know how to play against us week in, week out, because we're so obvious, then I'm afraid somebody else has got to step in. Did you want to say something there, O?
Go on, Owen, jump in, Owen. Give us the youth on this.
We're saying all this about Cooper, but we don't know what's going on behind all the matches. They could hate Cooper. All the players could hate Cooper for all we know. We don't know anything. So I think if we go down, we'll keep him. But if we stay up, Marinakis doesn't like him still. I think we'll get rid of him.
I think he's gone at the end of the season.
Either way, do you think, Ant?
I was assuming we're staying up, to be honest.
Can I just? I've been hovering over this comment for a while. Could I just bring this up?
Yeah.
Silverwave. That's bang on, mate. That's actually now whether Cooper's going to be he's not a star now. He's not a star manager. He's proved that this year. He did a great season last year, but people keep saying to me he's still young. He's 43. He looks about older than 43 at the minute. He's been under a lot of pressure, but our club in our position that we're in cannot help develop him because we could be in any league. We could be in any league.
Yeah.
I mean, go drop in, not staying in the league, and we can't afford another season like we've had this season. I saw on Door's channel the other day. He had an Aston Villa fan on, and he was really good actually. And he said, when Villa first went up, they really struggled like Forest did, and stayed up by the skin of the teeth. And he said it is a difficult first season, which I agree with. And there have been mitigating circumstances around Cooper, but for me, tactics that are obvious to predict week in, week out by the opposition, it ain't going to get you anywhere, whether it's this season, next season, or 5 years' time. So that has to change for me.
There's actually quite a few parallels between us and Villa, because they were in a shocking position in the Championship and then got up through the playoffs.
Yeah, they were a shocking position this year, weren't they?
And they went up with a Villa fan as a manager, who the fans absolutely adored. As you say, managed to keep him up by the skin of her teeth.
Didn't like his first name, though.
Managed to keep him up by the skin of her teeth the first season, which could happen with us. Second season, sacked him.
Yeah, it's...
Because there was no improvement in that second season. They were going to struggle again. So why do people think that next season under Steve Cooper we're going to be brilliant? We'll be playing the same system. We'll be playing the same thing.
Sharky with the £2, the legends.
Thank you. I don't know the answer to this, David. How many?
£2, Andrew Sharp. Whatever happens, I still have red blood, but SC out.
That's Sharky's opinion. Thank you so much for the £2. And we got a Villa. Nice year, buddy. 1982. Love it. It was the third season. Yeah, fair enough.
My point being, but even though he was Villa hero,
I'd like to know what the Villa fan thinks. What we should do, because they did roll the dice with Gerrard, didn't they? And look where they are now.
Yeah, but Gerrard gave him a little bounce.
They've got nothing to play for, but they're fighting for Europe.
Yeah, I know, but they got Unai Emery in. I mean, that's the point I was going to make. I'm Cooper in, and I'll stay Cooper in until you can give me a better manager that's more likely to keep us up.
Here's my stance. My stance hasn't changed. I was Cooper out in October. I still believe that would have been the right call. I really do. It would have given a manager time to come in,
Yeah, it may have
especially
been.
with hindsight now.
Yeah,
After the
yeah.
World Cup, I felt like the moment had gone, and it's like, okay, he's here, got to back him. But now I am just, I don't know if it's because I'm getting scared. Maybe it's just because I'm getting scared. But I just feel that if he doesn't do something tomorrow, then we are slow bleeding to and at $4.99 from Crypto. Oh, that's for you, Owen. That's for you. I'll send it over to you, buddy.
£4.99 Crypto Rider. Owen, get yourself a pint, mate. Thumbs up.
Probably need one after tomorrow. Yeah. Thank you so much, Crypto. Yeah, so that's my opinion. I haven't changed on it. I still think we had so many options of managers back in October. However, all this talk, I'm hoping we're doing a bit of an Ez here, where we're going to motivate them somehow to prove us wrong, because I feel like we're going to lose it. I know you don't think so tomorrow, Dino. And do you think we're winning or
That's
losing?
just me being deluded, to be honest.
That's fine. Stay deluded. I need someone deluded. I can't deal with my depression.
We're going to win.
Good. And where are you on this for tomorrow?
Well, as you know, I've been really, really positive all season. Absolutely, I've been betting £100 with everybody that would take it off me. We're staying up, not a problem. We've got a fantastic squad.
Is that bet still open?
No, this is this is the first time where I really think, shit, we're in trouble, because we drew against Wolves, we lost against Leeds. What the hell are we going to do against the better teams? Because Leeds and Wolves are poor teams. Don't get it twisted. They're poor teams. And we got 1 point. So what we're going to do against the better teams. As for tomorrow, not a fucking chance, mate. Not a fucking... And I never... You know me. I never care, but...
You never swear.
Not a prayer.
Let's get a couple of these comments in. Owen's saying, do people seriously expect ownership to get in a better appointment? Cooper got the team up half full of loans. Look at the recruitment this season as well. They don't get us a winner, tell you that. I want to touch on this argument about the players, okay? Because they can't go unpunished, yeah? But what I will say is the Cooper FC brigade are way down the fully blaming the players and Cooper's untouchable in it. For me, the responsibility personally lies somewhere in the middle. Yeah, half on the manager, half on the players. With you, Dino, where do you sit on that? Dino,
Sorry.
do you put some blame on the players or not? And guys in the chat, what do you say?
Yeah, without a doubt. But there's blame all over the place, isn't there? We bought too many players. I've repeated it so many times. It's probably going to bore people, but we bought too many players. We shuffled about too much with tactics. There's a lot, but it is a shared blame for me. The scouting team obviously got the sack first time round, didn't they? Before, when Cooper got the new contract, which was a bit of a surprise. There's been mistakes all over, but the players aren't culpable, really. You've got to. We're not getting enough goals from midfield. We've let in too many goals all season. It's just we've had some good championship players playing in the Premier League for the first part of the season. Now we're starting to get a bit more of a thing together. But then we've got go back to the scouting and the recruitment. We have no natural CDM. We've used 40 players this year, and we have no natural CDM. It makes no sense to me.
Kiyate is, but he's not being used as one.
No, he's a box to box.
He's never been a box to boxer in his life.
CDM stick there.
I know.
Like mad. He's been playing like a box to box.
I agree, but he is not. I'm saying he's being shoehorned into a role that he's not,
isn't it? Yeah,
huh?
Down to the coaching again. But we haven't played with a natural CDM that's stuck in that position this year. Everybody's, you have a go at it this week. You have a go at it this week.
You're spot on.
When you bought 30 players is just mind blowing.
You are spot on. You are spot on. It's what was I going to say? It's almost like Freuler and Quixote have been played inversely. Do you know what I mean? Like I would have expected at the start Freuler to be higher up and Quixote to be behind him. I mean, we've talked about this and a lot in the early part of the season. Ian Kyoto, I think, has been quite good. What are your thoughts on it, Ant? And Red Ross with the £5.
Ross,
Thank you
thank
so
you.
much, buddy, for the donation.
Amazing.
Really appreciate it. I think that,
£5 Red Ross. I'm definitely Cooper out. Have been since October.
fair enough. Fair enough. The beauty of this channel is you can have your opinion, and we don't really care what other people think about it because everyone's opinion is entitled. They are entitled to it. So, and then I was seeing. Sorry, Anne, you wanted to jump in on that. I was just gonna read some messages.
Look, I absolutely would say that Cooper had the hardest job this season because of the amount of players he had coming in, and the injuries as well on top of that have been absolutely disastrous for us. However, that doesn't have anything to do with tactics. Okay.
Owen, you absolute legend. Gifting a membership too, of all people. Turbocharged. I love that you guys keep interrupting Anne. It's so funny. Thank you so much, Owen. That's way too kind of you. And Turbo, make sure you give the legend that is Owen a big cuddle, and some love. And Kyle's saying you're spot on, Ant. Carry on, Ant.
Yeah, no, basically that's it. That you can't blame the players for the tactics, and the tactics have been, in my opinion, dreadful. That is the manager's responsibility. It's the manager's responsibility. I said earlier on, you can't give praise to the manager when things go right, and then say it's all the players when they go wrong. We've got good players in that squad. If they're not being played in the right positions, if they're not being picked, or if the tactics are not suited, that's down to the manager.
Can I ask you about the players, Ant? Can I ask you about the players? Because you've been avid all season that this squad is a Premier League squad. And there has been so many attacks on the players, especially in the last week or two on there. Do you give that any credence? Or do you still think this is a Premier League squad?
I believe it's a Premier League squad, yeah. I think if you ask most other fans, they would say the same, that we've got a good squad. But if that squad's not being used correctly, that's down to the manager. No, I'm not on here, Steve Cooper bashing. I'll repeat again, I want the guy to stay in a job. I want to stay in as manager for the rest of the season. But I acknowledge the fact that the reason those players aren't performing at their best is the responsibility of the manager. As I keep saying, you can't have it both ways.
Go on, Dino. Or Owen?
Cooper
Out.
Cooper out, obviously.
Joking.
But there is no squad. There's no certain squad, and that's Cooper's problem. He's bought too many players at the start of the season, rushed into it, gave it no thought, just decided, I've got all this money, might as well buy all the players. And it was the most useless thinking ever, because look where it's got us. We're 17th on the table, got Villa away tomorrow, likely to lose. So
we've got too many players. We have
definitely
got
Owen, whose fault is that, Owen? Yeah, you can't put that on Cooper, surely, the recruitment, or do you?
I'm gonna put it on Cooper and the recruitment, because the recruitment found these players, and I'm not blaming that. That's good, but Cooper I don't think he took the time to look at them all. I think he just decided, I've got all money, just buy them all, and then see what happens.
We've still haven't got a settled squad.
I made the point the other night, and I'll repeat it here. We have got exactly the same size squad as every other team in that division. We've got a 25-man squad. Why is always crap about we've got 40 players like that? We've got a 25-man squad, the same as every other team in that division. So that argument is totally crazy.
It isn't, and I'll explain why in a second. But Sharky gifting a membership, and he gifts it to Steve of all people. Sharky, it's so kind of you, and you've picked an absolute legend to get it. So congratulations, Steve. Make sure you thank the legend that is Sharky. And the reason why that. Yeah, so I've put the poll up. Is this a Prem squad or not? 60% of you are saying yes, 40% are saying no. It's quite split. Get your votes in. I'll leave it open for a minute. But just to come back at you with that point, Ant, what you are forgetting is when you say a 25-man squad, that's a 25-man squad that's over the age of 23. Yeah? So the likes of Jono, Yates, Nico Williams, etc., they don't count. But every other team has the same thing. I agree with you there. Yeah.
So why are we special? Why are we giving some credence to this argument that we've got too many players, our squad's too big. It's the same as everybody else's.
Well, we've used too many players.
That's a good way of putting it. But does that not tell you that he's still searching, Dino? Does that not tell you that even within all these players, he doesn't know the best 11?
Yeah, and he won't know whether Iwanyi's better up front or on the left. Still, he won't.
Yeah, but why is that even a debate? Iwanyi's never played left in his career, and then suddenly he was shoved on the left.
Yeah, but to be fair, if you see something in training and he does well in training in that position, then, you know, I mean, Thierry Henry was a right winger. They brought him in. I mean, it happens all the time.
Yep.
You can see players develop in different positions that perhaps they're not being used in before. And to be fair to Taiwo, he's looked good on the left.
Yeah, he has. I'm not saying he hasn't, but it's just a bit weird when we haven't got a striker. Let's bring in some of the comments from the chat. I've also got a Q&A open. Get your questions in there. We'll come to those as well. Burnley have apparently been promoted today. That's how to bounce back, says Kyle. Crypto saying, Wolverine, isn't Cooper a coach instead of a manager? Doesn't that mean he doesn't get involved in buying players, etc.? I might be wrong. I do agree. Look, the way I read on recruitment is that a manager will have a shopping list, for want of a better phrase, that he will present to the recruitment team. They will discuss between them. And, you know, I could have a shopping list. I could give my missus a shopping list, or she gives me a shopping list, should I say, you know, Ferrari, Lamborghini, etc. And it's not till you get down to the Nissan Micro where I'm like, okay, I'll start listening, you know. So shopping list is one thing, but affordability and a willingness to come is another. And then the team, the recruitment team with the manager, it's done together, start to figure out the style. Look, where the problem, I think, happened in recruitment that goes completely under the radar is our recruitment was done on the basis of a 3-5-2 formation. And it was clear to see very early on in the season, in fact, we saw it here before they saw it, was that it doesn't work in the Premier League or with the players we've got. And I think that kind of ripped up the plan, and it was like, oh shit, now what?
Yeah, that's a really good point. That's hence Nico Williams and Loddy.
Yeah,
they were kind of those wing backs, weren't they? That's a really good point. I know we're kind of going into a bit of bashing still here. I'd like to know from you two, what do we need to do from tomorrow to change our fortunes, and what would you do?
Win.
I mean, it could be anything. It could be formation, it could be players, it could be attitude on the pitch. You know, what would you do away at Villa?
You know what, Dino? You know, tomorrow, I just don't have any clue, because I just don't think that we're going to do anything.
If you were put in charge tomorrow, Cooper's off poorly.
Well, I can give you a team. I just got no. I don't think it matters what we do tomorrow. I think Aston Villa is just too good.
I agree.
I know that's a crazy answer, but I just think Aston Villa.
And I'd answer exactly the same way.
We're doomed then, aren't we, guys?
Tomorrow.
No, we're not doomed.
According to what you just said, you don't know what to do. You wouldn't know what to do. Yet we're criticising the management team and the coaches. You won't know what to do, so therefore we are doomed.
Yeah, but he gets paid £10 million a year. I don't.
It's our club.
Yeah, but he's left us in a situation, Dino. He's left me in a situation where I just don't think there's anything we can do tomorrow. You can't just fix it in one day, can you? You know, it's
like that one.
And I would answer exactly the same way you just answered. I really would. It just feels like, what do we do? What would you do, Dino? I mean, you posed the question. My answer is the same as Ant's. At this stage, I don't know what the answer is.
I'd match them for their 4-4-2 personally.
But how would that work?
And I wouldn't counter-attack anymore. If you got the opportunity to counter-attack, but I wouldn't build our formation around counter-attack. But I'd also make sure that we've got enough of the ball and progressed it forward. I'd have 2 strikers on, because we just don't score enough goals. And if we went 1 up, I would definitely not sit back. I'd just play the same all match. That's what I would do. Might get stuffed, but it's completely different to the other times that it's not worked this season away. That's what I would do.
I'd definitely try something different, Dino, but let's put it that way.
Put some legs in midfield. If you're playing a 2 in midfield, you need legs.
What the hell's that coughing?
Who's that coughing?
Well, let's ask someone who's going, and let's see what they think. Yeah,
Yes.
you ready, bro? Let's bring you in.
I'm looking forward to this.
Get him.
You alright, guys?
If you
It's
think
nice
we've
having you on here, man.
been doom and gloom, wait for this.
No,
Good.
I'm not too bad. I'm not too bad, mate. To be honest, I
It's good
was
to have you
depressed
on
last
here.
week. I was depressed last week, but yeah, I've sort of just accepted it now. To be honest,
Now.
I've given up now.
Si, you were like Mr.
It's a lot easier, mate.
Optimistic.
Just give up.
You
Yeah,
used to be Mr. Optimistic, and now you completely. You worry me, Si, when I see your comments in our WhatsApp group. You worry me because you were really Mr. Optimistic, and
I
when
wouldn't say I was
Si changes-
optimistic. No, I wouldn't say I was
You,
optimistic.
He was
Yeah,
realistic.
I've always tried to be realistic. I just go on what I see. You know, back in January we were going well, so I was optimistic. Now we're crap again. I'm back to doom and gloom, to be honest. Can you guys hear me okay, actually? Because I'm on
Yeah,
AirPods
yeah.
again.
You got,
Yeah,
you
it's
got
probably not the
tickets
best
tomorrow, haven't you?
quality.
You didn't have a USB. I kind of half saw your
No.
messages in the chat. Okay,
No.
we'll figure it out. Yeah, we can hear you clearly though. You look crisp as well, mate. It's Simon in the Antarctic.
I wish.
looks good.
Wouldn't
It
have
looks
to
good
watch-
and clean. I
wouldn't
like
have
it.
to watch Forest tomorrow.
Yeah. So, you answered Dino's question, right? If you were put in the dugout tomorrow, what would you do? And guys in the chat, what would you do as well? What would you do as well? I think it's a tough
Sensible
question.
ones only. We've had all the funny ones.
It's so tricky, isn't it? I know it's easy to say let's go all out attack, but realistically, if we do that, we'll lose 5-0. And I don't think Cooper's going to do that because if he loses 1-0, I don't think he'll get sacked. But if he loses 5-0, I think he would get sacked. Do you agree?
You think he survives?
Yeah, he'll survive on the yeah. If we lose by 1 or 2 goals, I don't think he'll go. It doesn't make any sense because everyone's expecting us to do that.
Yeah, but the word performance was pretty key in what Marinakis said, wasn't it? Do you not think that would have a bearing on it? Sorry, can I just shout out as well, just before you jump back in? Andy, thank you so much for the gifted sub as well. Poe the Panda, that came your way. So please make sure you thank Andy Porter for the gifted sub. You absolute legend. You guys are way too generous. You're way too... Listen, before you jump back in there, Si, I hope you guys are understanding what we're saying here, right? It may be coming across depressing. It may be coming across a bit bashy, yeah? But we're going to have the conversations that other places don't want to have, yeah? And come tomorrow at 3 o'clock, let's just reiterate this. We're all going to be, happy, clapping and praying. That's the thing. But right now, we've got to discuss those taboo subjects that no one wants to talk about and really see what the solutions are. Sorry, Si, go on.
Sorry, just quickly on other podcasts. I mean, I've really sort of gone off the Gary Baldy Red podcast now. The last couple of weeks, it's just been, I don't know what those guys are thinking. Like they're living in dreamland, aren't they? It's just always positivity. They never look at the facts. Always scapegoating certain players. And what pissed me off really last week was I can't remember who said it, but somebody was basically saying that anyone who's Cooper out is, they're basically making out like if you're Cooper out, you're some weird,
Plastic.
you're in the minority. You're just some like, I can't think of the word, but you're just some conspiracy theorist guy. Some guy that's not doesn't represent the Forest fans, that sort of thing. They're making out like we're the minority.
Simon, they always
as
say,
in like we're crazy, don't they?
Sorry, very quick. They always say, "Oh, we respect other people's opinions," but then as soon as somebody disagrees with theirs, they're toxic and they're not proper fans and this, that, and the other. They don't know what
exactly.
Yeah, and you spot on, Si. And then it's okay when they want to call out certain players, but if we call out a player or someone else calls out a player, especially if it's like, say, a Joe Worrell. I mean, I ended up in a little bit of a spat with Greg on Twitter because I said Worrell's crap. I mean, I've said worse about other players, but crap apparently was crossing the line. I couldn't think of a better word.
I wouldn't mind if he came back, or anybody. I'm not specifically picking on anybody. But I wouldn't mind if people came back and said, "No, I think he's a good player. Look at this, look at that." But they don't. They come back saying, "He loves the club.
Spot
he's a
on.
Nottingham man. He's got passion." They never come back actually answering what you said.
You're so spot on. They come back and say, "How can you say that?" Yeah. Whereas if someone came back,
with our captain,
yeah, if someone came back and said, "Look, I think you're wrong because against such and such team, he did this, he performed this. Yes, he's had a mistake here. Yes, he's done that. But if you outweigh it by this and produce some kind of argument instead of this BS." How can you say that? He's our captain. He loves Forest or something like that. Yeah. And that's the thing that just winds me up. I don't mind if anyone wants to disagree. I mean, we disagree here all the goddamn time, right? But have a constructive argument to what you're saying if you're going to disagree. That's all I'm asking. And I think that's what you're saying is frustrating as well, isn't it? It's like they'll just throw a comment out saying, "Oh no, you can't say, like you said, Cooper's out," or you want to discredit a certain player because it's not a player that they want to discredit, or they're quite happy with how things are going. And that's the frustration you're saying there, so isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, they just bring on like-minded people, don't they? They don't ever bring on somebody that's critical of Cooper or critical, of their favourites. Everyone on that podcast just agrees with each other, and it's fucking boring, to be honest. Like, at least we say it how it is. We know if we disagree with each other, we just say it. We grill each other about why we're saying certain things. That's just how it is. But anyway, I just wanted to put that out there. I know.
Yeah, I mean, look at our WhatsApp groups. How many times we've fallen out on WhatsApp between us?
We're always falling out daily.
Yeah, daily. Yeah, how many times has freaking someone left and then come back an hour later?
I was going to say I do like Matt Davis. I think he's got good on that podcast, and he does.
I'm not saying everyone on that podcast is stupid or whatever, but it's just certain things they're saying these days really, really irritates me. Especially Darren Fletcher. I don't know what's happened to Fletcher. He just makes out like anyone apart from him doesn't have valid opinions on Forest. He's like the guru of Forest. He's the guru. Anything he says, we all have to listen to, which really annoys me.
Fun fact, I heard he used to be a Man U fan. I don't know how true that is. But yeah, I think Nick is spot on here when he says they're scared to disagree. Huh?
Stop that.
I don't know. I'm just saying what I heard.
Yeah, I know.
All right, whatever. Okay, I'll retract it. Nick's saying here they're scared to disagree with Fletcher. Now there was something that came up the other week about was it competition for places? I think you might have mentioned it to me, Si, where one of them said it's good to have competition for places, and he said no, or something like that. I can't remember the exact argument, but it was along those lines, and they just didn't want to disagree. I can't remember the ins and outs of it. Anyway, we're not here to talk about them. What I want to know from you, Si, is what can we do tomorrow to get something out of the game? I think, would we all be happy with a point? I'll bite your hand off personally. Oh, yeah. Would you take a point? Everyone
of course. Yeah.
So what would you do, Si?
I'm not the manager, mate.
Who's he in a suite?
It's not as...
Oh, it's background.
You're rolling around naked in newspaper again. I've told you to stop doing that whole streaming.
Anyway, you're not a manager, but
I'm not a manager.
What would you like to see as a fan?
Just something different.
If we go your club.
I really feel like we missed an opportunity at Leeds. Like, I think if we went up 1-0, Forest fan. All I could hear was Forest fans singing. We silenced that crowd, and then we just sat back, as you said earlier. We just sat back.
Yeah, you're right.
We've seen Spurs do that all season. They get a goal and then they sit back and then they get dominated. That's what we've been doing. So I can't believe how many points we've dropped from
23
being
went
in a winning position.
Like 23.
Yeah. So now, if we score first, you're not confident, are you? You're just thinking it's just a matter of time until the opposition score. So yeah, we've got to change that up. Just keep attacking. If we go 1-0 up, don't try and sit on the lead. Just go for it. But in terms of formations, just 4-3-3. I don't think 4-3-2-1 or
4-2-3-1.
4-2-3-1. That's too attacking.
Would you consider matching their 4-4-2, Si? Man for man.
4-4-2 puts 2 in the middle if you go 4-4-2. And Si's always against 2 in the middle, aren't you, Si?
Yeah.
Well, they've got 2 in the middle, haven't they? And then it's just down to winning your battles on the pitch all the way around.
We'll still get overrun in the midfield even up against their two.
We probably will, but this is what I want to see. Keith, bang on. I want to see some fight. And I want to see fight from the first minute to the 94th minute. That's what I want to see.
This is where we need Yates. I don't know if he's available tomorrow.
I don't think he is. I don't think he is. His shoulder.
Start. Mangala needs to start.
Just mentioned something.
Get a bit of fight in there.
Yeah, but Ant, are you seeing any goals in our midfield? I know we got one against Leeds of Mangala, but isn't this another issue? It's the midfield is a bit of a problem, isn't it? I think I'm quite happy with the defence once we have our back four fully back with Aurier and Lodi back with the two bricks in the middle. But is it the midfield, Ant, that is the issue at the moment, that we're not getting... The bodies we get into the box are usually Danilo, now that he started playing, but he can't shoot for toffee. Isn't that a problem?
It is a problem, but for me, it's not the main problem. The main problem, and it's an obvious one, is we sit too deep. So the midfielders cannot get into the box anyway because they're 30, 40 yards back. So if we have a quick break, Brennan's lightning, Dennis is lightning, Taiwo's not slow. So if those players are running up that pitch, our midfield are 30 yards behind them. So they're not going to get many goals, are they?
Danilo might miss it one, and score. That'll be good.
Hey, let's be fair.
I love Danilo. He'll come good. He's such a great player.
Let's be fair. We all said the same about Mangala. He can't shoot, but he took that.
And he can't shoot. He can't shoot. I couldn't believe him score. I couldn't believe it was him that scored.
No, and it was a beauty, wasn't it? It was taken like a top Frank Lampard goal-scoring midfield. The way he took it to the side and just slotted it, it was beautiful. I put in the comments, but Mangala can't shoot.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say in here low block doesn't work, but it gets us all the points to get us out of the relegation zone.
Yeah, it's not been working, is it?
Owen, look at the table now. That's my worry with it. It will do only so much.
If we don't take a point tomorrow, we are guaranteed to go back into bottom three. I wouldn't say that's saying it works, personally.
Pat reminding Dino of the 30-yarder. All right, let's get into
premonition now.
Let's get into some of the questions from the chat and the Q&A. Get them in. There's loads in here, so we'll pick a few of these out. Poe says, which players do you think have been vilified in the squad and have been blamed unjustly in the past couple of games? Oh, that's an interesting question. Phil, thank you so much for the 99p, buddy. Face screaming in fear, he says.
99 pence, Phil.
That's a good question. I'm going to put it your way, Dino. Who do you think's been vilified in the squad in the past couple of games unjustly?
Couple of games or season?
He's put a couple of games. I mean, if you want to answer it as season, go for it.
I think Dennis, in particular. I think. I made a little comment about him holding onto the ball too long, and everybody jumped on me in the comments like they do, just to say, "Well, he scored and he set one up and hit the post. What more do you want?" Well, I want him to give the ball at the right time a bit more. Dennis definitely for me. I think he's a great player. Should have been playing. If he'd have been playing all season, we might not be in this complete mess.
Again, Dino, Dino, that's something we were saying, wasn't it? We've been saying it all season. Give Dennis a run of games on the left. Yeah. It does seem like we say things and then Cooper does it like 2 months later, 3 months later.
I think he listens probably and then thinks, "Fuck you lot."
Anyone else you'd chuck in there, so?
Dennis is the obvious one, isn't it? It doesn't help when Fletcher comes out with his comments. His anti-Dennis agenda. I don't know what that's all about.
Ricky can't call players, though. No.
Do you think it's just because of his body language, or why do you think he gets vilified so much? Because I saw people saying, we need to throw Dennis in the Trent and all this sort of comments, and that's after he scored against Newcastle. Yeah. I don't really understand. I don't understand the hate towards Dennis, to be honest.
He's a progressive player that gets the ball and runs forward.
Yeah, but the thing is, though, like, he loses the ball a lot, but Gibbs White loses it more, or Johnson loses it more, but no one seems to notice when they do it.
Yeah. And why do you think Dennis gets the short end of the stick with the fan base?
I don't know. It seems to me like earlier in the season when he was just getting little bits and bobs, not very many minutes at all, he was failing to make a big impression, which is not unusual. It's not surprising. It's it's perfectly normal when a player's only getting little bits and bobs here and there, not to be able to create a good impression. I think that got into people's heads, and no matter what he does now, that's what football fans are like. Once it's in their heads, that's it. It's crap. It's crap. And no matter what he does now, it really doesn't matter. He could score a hat trick, it'd be crap. So you won't change those people's minds now. I mean, Fletcher doesn't help. I don't want to bash any other podcast. It's not fair, but Fletcher doesn't help with his. And I think it is an agenda, Simon. I think you're right. I think he has got an agenda again. I mean, he said to me, he's never a footballer, never was, and never will be. The guy scored 10 goals. The guy scored 10 goals last season in a relegation.
I feel sorry for Dennis, to be honest.
Yeah.
Tell you what he does as well.
If you were Dennis,
No, sir. Tell you what he does. Now we all love Jono. We all love Jono. Let's get it out there. We all think he's fantastic, and we love him, and we love him, and we love him. But Dennis chases back. Jono doesn't. Dennis covers the left back. Dennis puts tackles in. Jono does none of that. Now, if those situations were reversed and Jono was doing all that and Dennis wasn't, he was just standing up the field, Jono might be playing to instruction, although it's not Jono's game to come back. Okay, I accept all that. But if those situations were reserved, can you imagine how much dick Dennis would be getting then? Lazy bastard, doesn't track back, doesn't care. Just saying.
Yeah. Fonzie, get that question in the Q&A and we'll jump to it. I just want to put another one to you. And Freuler, has Freuler been vilified this season, or do you think there's been reasons for it? How do you see Freuler?
I like Freuler, and whenever I'm down the City Ground, which is every game, I always make a point of spending at least a few minutes player camming him, watching him, because everybody says he's a ghost. He does a lot. He does a fucking lot. He does link up the play. He does chase the ball down. He does close spaces. But he's not a player that people will notice. And I think he's got a lot of stick. But also, I have to say this, he's also got a lot of support as well. I'm quite surprised when I see a lot of Forest fans saying, Freuler, class, Freuler's got to stay in. They say, Freuler the ghost. Freuler, he's a ghost because you're not down the game watching him. If you watch him, when you watch on TV, obviously it focuses on where the ball is. It's not focusing on the spaces. And Freuler will cover those spaces. He does a lot of work. He runs more miles or kilometres per game than any other Forest player. Just think about it. Yeah, he does. That's a fact. He covers the ground. He's got the highest running stats every game because he's covering those spaces over and over and over again. But people don't see that because if they watch it on TV, and that's not disrespect to anybody watching on TV. You know, I don't go to away matches, I watch on TV. But if you watch it on TV, you're not going to see that because obviously they follow the ball.
Dino, just on that point on Freuler, Kyle's saying it, Martin's saying it, he's been played out of position. Would you agree with that? And is that part of the problem?
Whenever I've seen him for Switzerland, I've never really seen a very dynamic midfielder. He's just quietly gone about his business even for Switzerland. But he's one of these that he scored in the World Cup and everybody's like, oh, he's brilliant. And I think he's a bit overhyped personally. Thank you, Jack.
Thank you, Jack, for the £1. Appreciate it, buddy. So,
overhyped.
But do you think he's been given a hard time?
Yeah, by us on occasions, because he's at this stage of the season, we need grinders and battlers. I'm afraid it's going to be ugly. It's not going to be sexy football, and I just don't know whether he's that sort of player. I do agree with Anne in some respects, because when I do watch him, I do see him do a lot more. You'll never see him do a delicious curving 40-yard ball or smack one against the crossbar. He's just not that sort of player. He's a busy midfielder that covers gaps, but you know, we're then on the flip side saying that midfield is our big problem.
It's a tough one, isn't it? So you see a lot of Freuler at the ground. What's your opinion on him?
I think he's decent, to be honest. Yeah, he goes about his work. He's a leader as well. That's the important thing. And I've always said this: Cooper rates him very highly. You know, ever since he's come in, he's going to start almost every single game. And there's not that many players in the Forest team that you could say that about. So I do think Cooper rates him quite highly. I obviously, like, as you guys have already said, he does a lot of stuff you don't see on the ball. So, but it's obvious that he can't play in the same team as Shelby. That's quite obvious, isn't it?
Well, to us, yeah.
To me, 100%, 100%.
That's the obvious thing. So
Yeah, it is
if we play him, I'm all for it. But we just can't play Shelby.
Yeah, I think that's a cracking point. Something we've been saying for weeks as well.
Yeah, it's a cracking point.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to
I did see people did say that Freuler looks less effective away. That might be you that said that, actually. What's your thoughts on that? Would you play him for home games and then play Shelby away?
I don't like this mindset of a player being better at home than away. Like, I know, call me old school, but I just think to myself, like, it's a pitch, you know. Just very quickly before we jump into that, just a massive thank you. These gifted subs from Pat, thank you so much, and it's gone to Red Dog 80. Pat, that's very kind of you, Red Dog 80. So show some love to Pat the legend for making you a member. Now you'll get to see all the goals obviously tomorrow as they go in. And Sharky asking how many subs. We still need 78 to hit the big 10k. So if you guys want to make that happen, please do. And don't forget
something on the subs. On most YouTube channels, you'll see, like, 60%, 67% not subscribed to this channel but watching the videos. It really helps us out a lot if you subscribe. But to do it, you have to log into your Google account, which then will give you access to your YouTube account. So if you're not logged into any account, you won't be able to subscribe. So if you could just take a few minutes next time we stream or now, that'd be fantastic. If you could log in and subscribe, we'd love that. Really does help. You don't realise.
Yeah, and we'll be doing a 10k party stream. We'll be doing a few giveaways, no doubt. So yeah, the quicker you guys get us there, the more prizes that are coming your way. And we're on 116 likes. We've got over 250 of you beauties in here. So thank you all for chilling with us on this Friday night. I want to jump back into a couple of these questions. I want to start talking about looking ahead to the game tomorrow. Tony Parr asks, would you start a 1U? And I'm going to chuck this one your way because I love it when you start talking about 12 men on the pitch and stuff. It gets me going. Would you start a 1U tomorrow? And then if you say yes, what I'm going to follow up with. So I'll pre-warn you now.
Yeah, no, I was going to say it depends on the formation, doesn't it?
Okay, so give me the formation.
What I want or what we'll play? Well, we're going to play a 4-3-3, aren't we?
Yeah.
And in those circumstances, I would say there's probably no room for a 1U tomorrow.
So you wouldn't start him?
No, I wouldn't start him. Depending. If Dennis is not fit, then I'd start him. If Dennis is fit, I'd start Dennis. But that's not to say he's not a valuable substitution.
Okay. Owen, would you start him?
Sorry?
Would you start 1U?
100%. Sorry, a bit loud. 100%. Because no one's gonna admit it. He's underrated. People are saying, oh, he's this and he's this, but I don't think he's had enough playtime this season. I think Cooper needs to give him a chance.
Who would you drop for him, though, Owen?
This is a nasty question. He always puts.
I know, Owen. You walked right into my trap, Owen. Welcome to the live stream, mate. Yeah.
Who would you put up front then?
No, don't try spinning. Don't try your dad's tactics on me, right? Don't try your dad's tactics. You walked into the trap. You got to walk yourself out, Owen. Come on, you're playing with the big boys now.
Who would I?
Don't go all and say you play 12 players.
I don't know who's in the team.
Let's say it's Dennis on the left, MGW in the middle, and Jono on the right.
Jono, yeah.
So who are you going to drop?
MG Dubs. I'm sorry, I've got to.
Oh, agenda! Agenda!
Hold on. Let me explain. Because, right, Gibbs White hasn't had many goals this season, but when he does, they're good goals. But the likelihood of him getting these goals are 20-30%, right? Whereas a Winnie doesn't score big goals, but he scores goals. That's what I'm saying.
He scores a lot of
He'd
big
be more
goals, mate.
effective.
Go on, Si, interrupt him. Go on. Wait, before you do, big shout out to
£2
Jack.
Start Taiwo Awoniyi over MGW.
And let the sat nav
possibly.
say its
I'm
thing.
saying.
So Jack's agreeing with you. Jack's agreeing with you. Jack must be one of these younger fans that we hear things from, yeah? Si, what do you think on that?
If Dennis is not fit, then play Awoniyi. If Dennis is fit, gotta play Dennis.
So you wouldn't start one year. Let's put this as a poll.
Where would you start him? On the left?
No, I'm saying so you wouldn't start him.
Well, if you did start him, the only position he can play is on the left, isn't it? Because we won't have a striker.
Technically, mate. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying that if you had to put him into the Cooper system, he'll be on the left. So I don't think he's that effective. So I would probably stick with Dennis. If there was a target man striker, not target man. If we were playing an out and out striker, I would start Taiwo over Dennis.
This is why we probably won't match 4-4-2 because MGW doesn't fit into a 4-4-2, does he? That's
true.
That's true. That's part of the problem. We're kind of cemented with this 4-3-3 or slight variations of it, aren't we? There's no way we're thinking of what I'm just thinking out loud there. There's no way we're starting with 4-4-2 tomorrow. So.
But all right, Dino, don't divert.
He will start 4-3-3. That's what he'll start.
Yeah.
Dino, on to you, Awoniyi. Would you start him? We got young Dino's opinion, but
yeah, you know what? I'd probably tend to agree. I'd probably drop MGW just purely. Yeah, listen. There's some thought behind it, purely because it's something different that we haven't done before. Now we'll have three with pace up front, and we'll have a powerhouse in them through the middle. So I love MGW. He's been my player of the season, and I think we'll miss a little bit of creativity with him. But because it's Cooper's last chance saloon, and because we are running out of games, I would definitely try something different and have those three up front, because the
that's his golden boy.
Might make their midfield and defence think a little bit more than they have been.
But Dino, that's his golden boy. Guess what? Doesn't come off the pitch.
Live by the sword, die by the sword.
But it's what we would do, isn't it? I mean, we know that Cooper's not allowed to do that, but I actually don't mind doing that. Swapping out.
Can I go? Wait, stop. Before you jump in, Anne, MG if you're watching, please understand that these aren't the views of FFTV. These are the views of each individual. Yeah, I by no way condone any of these conversations.
That next time, you talking on behalf of us, huh?
Sorry, go on, Anne.
Yeah, because look, I said this unfortunately in the podcast before the Wolves game, and obviously he had a cracking game against Wolves. He was electric, but he was back to his old crap self again against Leeds. Sorry.
Again, MG these are their thoughts and not mine.
When I say his old crap, let me just backtrack on that a bit. That's a terrible thing to say. He's not crap. He's a fucking brilliant player, but he's badly out of form and has been for quite a while now.
I think you lot are being harsh. I'll be honest. I think you're being harsh. He is our most creative player. You can it or lump it.
He is, but we're not getting results away.
But why? It's not him. It's the tactics.
The back five ain't going to change.
It's not creative when he's continually losing the ball. That's not creative.
You give Dennis the benefit of doubt for doing that, and you're not going to give it to MG Dub.
Yeah, but he just.
The whole point, Wolverine, is we have to do something different.
Hold on, Dino. Let Ant finish his point. Let Ant land, then I'll come to you. Go on, Ant.
No, it's all right, Dino. No, I was just going to say, he's got to cut out these flicks and tricks. They're beautiful when they come off, but they're not coming off at the minute. He's got to get back to basics.
Okay. Just very quickly, thank you so. Oh my God, there's so much on my screen, I can't quite see it. Thank you so much to Jolly Ollie for gifting JBFLOKI the membership. Jolly Ollie, you're an absolute legend. JB, make sure you send some love to Ollie. Look, I've got to say, you can't. If you play Dennis and Jono on the wings, then you need that guy who can thread the balls. Now, unless I would accept you guys saying that, yeah. And MG Dub still love you, bro. I would expect you, accept you guys saying that if you were saying to bring Scarpa in for his place, who's the only other player, in my opinion, who can thread those balls in. But if you're going to put a 1 year up front and you're going to take the passer out of the game, I don't know how you think you're going to connect the two the two banks.
That's what I was about to say.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with that. But that's the dilemma we've got, isn't it?
And that's why...
That's why I say, if you stick to that system, that's
Yes.
the only way you can do it. The only way you could bring Taiwo in properly is to change the system to a 4-2-3-1.
I agree. But it won't work tomorrow.
That's not going to happen.
And it won't work tomorrow. Let's just have a look at the poll results. 78% of you are saying you'd bring him in. 10% are saying no, and 12% are saying the bench. Now, seeing that the majority of you have fallen into my trap, I'm going to ask you now who you'll drop for him. And while I'm doing that, boys, I want to talk about Scarpa. And I want to start with you on Scarpa because he's your boy.
Yep.
He was crap against Leeds, man, when he came on.
It was no worse. It was no worse than the rest of them.
I agree.
He looked shocking. He looked out of place.
He was no worse than the rest of them.
He was like a kid playing men's football. He just
It was no worse.
completely lightweight, falling over it.
No worse than the rest of them.
Okay, fine. And elaborate on that, though.
That's not a very high bar, is it? So I'm not saying he came in and he was good. I'm saying he was no worse than the rest of them. They're all shit.
Okay,
What did you expect him to do? Did you see the way we were fucking playing against Leeds? What did you expect him to do?
No, I'm not blaming him. He's not.
You know,
played
he's
much.
picking the ball up 14 yards out. What's he supposed to do with that?
Okay, and would you play him tomorrow?
No. No,
Really?
Don't fall into the trap.
I know.
You just all right. I won't trap you. I won't say for who, but would you play him tomorrow?
No.
Wow. Is there anyone on the panel who would play him tomorrow?
Off the bench, maybe.
Oh, and you're nodding your head.
Not away to Villa.
I would. Honestly, I would. Because he's creative like Gibbs White. You don't see it much, but he is.
Because he doesn't get to play.
The balls that he can make is honestly.
Owen's convinced me.
I just think
Scarpa for
if you
MGW.
play him tomorrow, we'll
Yeah.
get those balls in.
Yeah.
What do you reckon, Owen? Scarpa for MGW, yeah?
Or forget the CDM, put 3 centre mids. Honestly, just leave the 4 at the back to it.
Yeah,
No, just go
3
4-3-2-1. 4-3-2-1. Put Scarpa in the 10.
Or if we did a 4-4-2, that's the best option we've got tomorrow. 2 strikers. I'd put Jono and Awinyi, and then Dennis on the left. On the right, you could potentially put Nico. I don't know what to do with that. 2 fullbacks. 2
Yeah, Marcus,
centre-mids,
it's bedtime.
honestly.
Dino, it's bedtime.
Let's play 5 along that front line, and just force them to play the long ball. Let's play them all. Let's pull them all in.
They wouldn't know what to do, would they, Villa? They'd be running around like blue-ass flies. They wouldn't have a clue what's going off. We've been set up to play against a low block. What's going off here?
I'm just clutching at straws, by the way, chat.
Unai, what do we do?
All right, wait. Just very quickly, I asked you the question who you dropped for Awonyi. You lot are agreeing with these 3. Again, MG Dub, I don't condone what the chat say either. 52% are saying they drop MG Dub for Awonyi. 42% have said for Dennis. And 6% have said for Jono. Wow, that's interesting to say the least. So MG Dub doesn't seem to be pleasing everyone. Look, I agree with what Samir's saying. We're clutching, man. I hate to say it, but Owen, cover your ears. I feel like we're fucked tomorrow.
We are fucked.
Full brain, cover your ears. hope his mum's not watching this.
You are, Forest.
But in a way, when backs to look, the last time this season where I felt Forest had no chance, was when we went into the Liverpool match, and we went and won that.
What about Arsenal away?
Huh?
What about Arsenal away?
Well, it was against my son, so I thought maybe God would smile down on me.
Man City away.
It was against my other son. I thought God would smile down on me.
Let's bring something up.
But what I'm saying is there a chance that is there a chance Forest can do a Forest? Yeah, and just defy the odds. Let's bring the energy back up. Can we defy the odds? We're not playing a European Champions League winning. Well, they have in the past, but currently, let's not forget where they were when we played them last time. They were one of the worst teams I saw come to the City Ground this season. Yeah, has Emery really changed the team that much in 4 months and made the same crappy players that were playing on the pitch against us now worldies, and that we should be expecting to get nothing out of this match, Si?
Mate, it's going to be 3-0 tomorrow.
Yeah.
I tried to build it up. I tried to offer
thing
you.
is-
Come to me then, dickhead.
The
Oh,
thing
yeah,
is,
shit.
1-0 to us.
this is how ridiculous Forest fans are. I know it's going to be that score, and I'm still trekking over there tomorrow to watch it.
Hey, Si,
How, like, deluded we are.
What about him? He went away to Arsenal and away to Man City.
I'm glad I
In
missed
the
those
away
games.
end as well, of all
In the
places.
away end of Man
the
City,
sorry.
yeah.
Oh my.
And Arsenal in the away end.
In the
Home
home
end.
end for both, yeah.
It was so quiet in the Man City end, wasn't it? Oh my God, it was like...
Yeah, you could hear.
You could hear bags of crisps rustling from about 10 rows down. It was ridiculous.
It
When
is
they
the
were
thing.
turning us over, you could just hear them all like...
Here's the
coughing,
thing. We got some corporate seats, yeah, because I know someone in there, and we ended up sitting with Aki while he was injured, and a couple of the other youngsters in there, and they weren't even like worried in the slightest playing Forest.
No, it's just a training session for them, isn't
I can't
it?
remember the video log for that one.
Huh?
I can't remember the video log for that one.
Yeah, I couldn't film in there. We weren't allowed to.
Yeah, you didn't film anyway, did you?
But yeah, anyway,
I can't blame you for that one, to be fair.
so
No,
I don't know.
to be fair, I know what you're saying. It's back to the wall stuff. You know, you never know. You know, but I would feel more confident if we brought a new manager in, because I would think it would feel like that Huddersfield game last season when we won 3-0. Yeah, it would feel like that. I would be more optimistic about it. But
Can I ask a question?
I just can't see things changing under Cooper.
No, I can't.
Go on,
Can I
Ant.
ask- Yeah. Where's this saying? I hear it. I keep hearing it. Doing a Forest. When have we ever done a Forest?
Well, I feel like it against Liverpool.
Liverpool.
No, but I was confident.
They've
I was
got
confident about
their
that
away
Liverpool game.
record is almost as bad as ours.
Yes, now, but when we were playing them, they were still Liverpool.
No, but their record at City Ground's terrible.
At 84, I know, but
Yeah. So where's this doing a Forest come from? I don't get it. I keep hearing people saying it. I mean, well, yeah, doing a Forest means we're going to get beat. What are you on about? I mean,
That's a good point. That's a good point. Dino, help me, man. Help me find something for tomorrow, please. Because I can't, man. My heart is like dying here. And I'm looking at these fixtures and I'm like, Man U next, Liverpool next, Brighton. Fucking, I don't even want to go on. Right, Dino,
At least
tomorrow.
Yeah, okay. So at least we're not going into them thinking like we did with Everton, like we did with Wolves, and like we did with Leeds, to say, "Oh, we could win this. We could win this."
Yeah, I like it. I like where you're going.
It. So we've got to make that step up.
No, we're doing
There
it.
is. I'll send my
doing it.
bill in to you tomorrow in the post.
we're doing it like we felt like we went away to Arsenal and Man City, and look how that turned out.
Dean, you
Away
carry on
Man
talking.
City.
Don't let him interrupt you.
Listen, Man City, it's like Newcastle first game with rabbits in the headlights. We were just new to the whole thing. It was like being a kid going on to the biggest stage in the world. You know, and I agree with Simon on this. It's a big stadium mentality. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm down with that. No, listen, we've got to change it tomorrow. We don't change it, I'll be like Mr. Negative for the rest. You may as well just cut me off the streams for the rest of the season, because if he doesn't change tomorrow his approach, I will be 100% Cooper out. I will be. But I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, as I've done all season. And if he doesn't change after he's had that final warning, final written warning, let's call it, then I'm sorry, he's not good enough for us. And I don't give a shit what fans call me or any Cooper lovers call me.
You can't call you words.
Forest is my club, and it's been my club since the age of 7 when my dad first took me.
Well said. Well said. Well said. Exactly. And it's your opinion, and who is anyone else to tell you what your opinion should be? Apart from maybe Owen when he brings you back to reality. But yeah, let's do the score lines. I really don't want to do this because I don't want to finish on a downer. And score line.
Well, I'm going to be positive, right? I'm going to be as optimistic as I can be. So I reckon we might get away with a 2-0 loss.
2-0 loss.
2-0.
Yeah.
If we're lucky. Yeah, if we're lucky, mate.
I thought you were going to say a draw or something.
No, we could. You know, it's possible. We could get away with a little 2-0.
Owen, give us some youthful energy on a scoreline here. You're on mute.
I've got to give it to Ant. Ant is looking at the real part
That's
of
a
it.
microphone, mate. It amplifies your voice.
Ant is looking at the realism part of it. I mean, all the fans are like hoping that we can pull away with like what we did at Man City at home. We drew it up last minute, and it's just let's just be honest, it's just not going to happen, is it?
Yeah, just before I ask you inside, just Gus has said no manager will do better than Cooper with the fixtures we have.
That's not true, mate.
I don't know if I agree with it, but my counter argument to that is very simple. There will be managers who could have done better with the fixtures we've had. The Wolves one, the Everton one, if you want to go back to the Everton one from earlier in the season, the boring mouth ones, that would be my counter argument. So you can't just look at it in isolation ahead. You got to look at what's just passed. And that's why after that Everton result, that's where my butthole started puckering up from there. But that would be my counter to it.
I'd also say that that's like a statement of fact. No manager could do better. We don't know that. I'm not saying they could, by the way, but we don't actually know that for certain.
Yeah, sliding doors. Oh, Ez is around, is he? Salam, bro. Hope you're well.
We've had the most amazing meal helping break his fast tonight.
You helped him, did you, by eating?
We helped him, yeah. We actually waited to the time as well. My mouth was just drooling, waiting. The food was incredible that his family cooked. Thank you, Ez.
I'm just so sad that I couldn't make it up tonight. Goats in the house,
so
guys.
good.
If we can beat Man City, who I know the hell is Aston Villa, we can beat them 2-0. Come on, you Reds. That's what I want to hear. Thank you. Come on, guys, get your scorelines in.
When did we beat Man City?
We didn't beat Man City.
We beat them 3-0 in the cup many years ago. I remember Robinho come in and we slapped him.
I'll go back then.
I'll go back. I'm a fucking happy clapper now.
I've been to Main Road when it was Main Road when we beat Forest. There was
There you
riots
go.
outside.
So he's right. Don't tell me the GOAT is wrong when he's right. Yeah.
And all the Forest cars got smashed up the road, and about 3 cars from my car they'd stopped the smashing, but literally they'd smashed every window in.
And you were like, thank fuck for that. I'll get out of here.
Because it was obvious my window was going to be smashed in. A little boy came out, honestly, he was like about 6, and said, do you want me to guide your car for a £5, mate? I went, no, you're all right, mate. And yeah. 3-1, I think it was.
It's like Liverpool as well. Every time you park your car anywhere around, hey, mister.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Exactly. But all these results, Kyle saying Chelsea as well, these are all at the City ground, man. These are all at the City. I don't know. Dina, give me your score prediction.
2-1 Forest.
Ooh.
Navas 100-yarder. And a Freuler 30-yarder.
I feel like Dino, I feel like you just want to see a worldie go in. I feel that's your dream this season.
I've watched so many reels of Shelby scoring worldies for everybody else, and he owes us one. Right, I'm not bothered who scores.
Dino,
2-1
stop.
Forest.
Stop. They're saying, Dino, just stop.
If it's a draw, as long as the performance is good, I'm happy. If it's a loss, I'm done. I'm done. I'm not done with the club. I'm done with thinking Cooper could turn it around.
I'm done with that already. I'm done.
Bloody hell, Si.
Come on, Si. Come on. You're going, for God's sake.
Yeah, I know.
Come on.
What's the point in going if you're not going to?
How can you send the team energy on the pitch from the stands if you think
No,
you're
we'll
going?
no. You know how it's going to be tomorrow. We're all going to be chanting Cooper's name and clapping the players and all that. You know,
Rightly so.
we'll be full.
Still love Cooper.
No, but yeah, it's like that, isn't it? But we'll be fully behind the team. I'm fully behind Cooper tomorrow. Fully behind the team tomorrow during the game.
Quite right, mate. Quite right.
But we're just saying what we think is going to happen, and I think it's going to be humiliating tomorrow. It could be bad. It could be bad. Cooper could be gone tomorrow.
Listen, guys, we're really sorry. We really tried to make it a positive stream today, but we failed.
Yeah,
Fuck all you negative bitches, man. I'm saying we're going to smash them 5-0.
Yeah, all right then, yeah.
5 again, I'll take that.
Back in your cot.
All right. Let's try and spin this positive, right? Sharky's saying, how many points will we finish on? Let's go back in reverse. What's your name again next to me, the young chap here? Simon.
Well, let me just give my score prediction. I'll give you... You know, it could be bad, but I'll go with what Anne said. We could get away with a 2-0 defeat.
2-0 defeat, okay.
What was your other question?
Where do we finish?
Have you seen a grown man naked?
And with how many points as well?
Finish 19th.
Huh?
Finish 19th.
Your mic's gone all underwater, probably because I don't like what you're saying.
Points-wise, I don't know. It's just wherever 19th place will be.
19th.
It could quite easily be 20th, you know. Like Southampton.
Fuck, man. Let's stop at 19, man.
Southampton, we're in absolute freefall right now. And I don't see any way we're turning around because we've been relying on our home form and we've only got 4 home games left, haven't we? And it's Man United, Brighton, Arsenal, and Southampton. Is that it?
That's 12 points right there.
That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear.
So if we can't get away points, I don't know how we're getting these home points because we're not getting anything out of most of those games, are we? We could be 20th because Southampton actually won against Chelsea away and they drew against Man United away and they beat Man City in the cup at home. They're on a good run, I think, at the moment, Southampton. I wouldn't write them off completely.
So, you know, if Casemiro wasn't back for our game, I'd actually back us to get a
no, to be honest,
They are a one-man team, and he makes such a difference, you know.
Yeah.
We'll beat them, don't worry.
I think we've got a chance against Man United.
We will beat Man United.
But Wolverine, like, in the last, 20 years, we've been smashed by Man United every single game we played against.
We ain't played them, man. I can tell you for a fact in the last 23 years, we haven't played them, man. I know that because obviously of Twist. We ain't played each other.
All right, sorry, yeah. Well, before that, I saw some stats. Is it through the 90s, we just kept getting destroyed by them. And this season, we've been beaten by them 3 times now this season. And we've not scored a goal, have we?
So most of those players are dead now. It don't matter.
Yeah. This is 20 years ago.
This is now.
I've been to Old Trafford 3 times. Once when we beat Liverpool 1-0 in the League Cup final replay.
Yeah.
Once when we beat them 4-0 in the Champions winning team. And once when we beat them 2-1 in 1995 when Stan Collymore was there. So I've been
that's when we were decent.
I've been there 3 times and we've won all 3 times.
Oh, well.
But I didn't go this year.
Why didn't you go this year?
Yeah, I went this year. Yeah, shit.
I knew we'd get hammered.
You plastic. You plastic.
I'm calling plastic.
All right. So
I hope I'm wrong, but I hope I'm wrong.
No, you're definitely
19th.
right. You're saying 19th. Dino, where the fuck are we finishing?
17th on.
But what are you basing that on?
This is the guy who thought Shelby was going to score from 30 yards, so let him go. Go on, Dino.
If all the players were negative and down about where they finish and what they do, we may as well just give up now. Stop streaming. Everybody stop playing football. Just give up and go down. We're not giving up till the fat lady sings and we go down or stay up, right? And that might go down to the last day. If we get to the last day, who saw us get into Wembley in the playoffs? And who saw us then have a really poor game in the playoffs and win. Who saw that? And how elated we would feel. Just imagine how elated we'd be staying up this year after such a topsy-turvy, disastrous season. If we get 17th, that's a bloody miracle. But it's not Cooper's bloody miracle. It's a miracle. A combined miracle and I include the fans in on all that because the fans have been the 12th man all year, home and away.
Yeah.
What an amazing set of fans. All of the fans say it. So I have to believe we'll beat Villa tomorrow, and I have to believe we'll stay up, and we'll stay up at 17th until the table tells me not. Otherwise, what's the point in us supporting the team?
Love it. Love it. Love it.
I feel faint now.
Yeah.
No,
Owen.
I feel.
Wait, Owen, what say ye?
Don't let me down.
I'm not. I want all of the drama. I'm hoping 6 teams, right? All 6 bottom teams, like Wolves, Everton, Bournemouth, all of us. I want it to be based on goal difference because the amount.
Are you crazy, man?
What?
Because your heart is like young still, yeah? Some of us have 21-year-old hearts here.
No, because the amount of suspense that we'll get from it, and I hope we go 17th, 16th, but on goal difference. I think it will come to that because we've got 27
Why
points.
do you want it on goal difference? I don't get it.
Do you remember the Aguero goal when Man United thought they'd won it? What a great moment in football. Imagine us doing something like that right at the other end of the table.
Yeah, but I was a twist on that moment. I loved that moment. I love that moment for the rest of my life.
Yeah, but surely the Stan Collymore goal against Peterborough when we got promotion in '94 was a much better example of last-minute fucking glorious goals.
Yeah, but we hammered them that day, and
Or when we came back up from the second division, whatever it was called.
2-0 down after 10 minutes.
Yeah,
against the bottom of the table. Yeah. Stan scored a volley.
Did Steve Stone score that day?
Psycho? No. Steve Stone wasn't there, was he? Was he? Oh, I know. Psycho. I know that Stuart Pearce scored.
Remember the 3 goals?
The chat will tell you.
Like a massive kick.
Actually, it might be Stoney. You might be right, actually. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm sure Stevie Stone scored.
Anyway.
No reminiscing. Let's think forward.
It's over to you. Let's look ahead, not backwards. And where are we finishing?
Anywhere between 16th and 17th. I don't see what all the panic's about. I mean, we've got 4 home games. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I am a lot more confident about playing at home to Brighton than I am away to Aston Villa, for example. You know what I mean? Yeah, then there's Southampton at home as well. Arsenal, we're going to lose, okay? Man U, they're not very good.
We'll win against Man U. I promise you we will beat Man U.
And Ez has got us in to win against Liverpool, so there's another one.
I think we'll win against Liverpool.
He does as well, I don't. But.
Really?
Seriously, Man U at home, Casemiro's been out for 4 weeks. He's not going to be necessarily, in top form.
Well, they got European matches, so he'll be playing in those, then.
Eh?
He'll be playing in the European matches. He'll be fine.
Have they got any? Before then?
Yeah. Mickey Mouse Cup, Europa. Home and away.
It's next week.
I don't know when it is, but he'll be playing in there.
Yeah, it'll only be one because the game's in a week's time, isn't it? The Man United
so it's
game.
only next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm saying he's not coming in cold. He'll have a game.
European.
One game.
Who are they playing in Europe? Sevilla, yeah. Farmers League.
Sevilla or Bardo?
Don't count. They're rubbish. So, anyway, my point being, Man U are terrible away from home. So we stand a chance of getting a draw with that Forest home crowd. We stand a chance of getting a draw. I believe we can beat Southampton. I believe we can beat Brighton. Call me deluded. I don't care. Arsenal, we won't. But that's enough. If we lose every away game and get a draw and 2 wins, that's enough. We're up.
No, it's not.
No, you need 3 wins.
You need 3+ draws.
I don't think so.
33 points.
2 wins.
Terrible. I don't believe so. But we'll see. I'm already
Awesome.
9 points behind my predictions anyway. So what the fuck do I know?
The problem is,
I was only about 4 games ago, and I'm 9 points behind. So
just beating Brighton and drawing against Southampton. That's the problem.
yeah, but to be honest, that don't bother
That's
me.
fine.
As long as we get 4 points out of those 2 games.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think tomorrow. I think Villa's. And I don't think any of their fans are worried about us.
Zero.
They've only got to think it's a complete banker. They'll be going, what do you think? 5, 6, 7, and that might play into our hands a little bit.
Yeah.
But the Leeds fans, to counter that, Dino, the Leeds fans are thinking the exact same thing.
Yeah,
Were they though?
Yes.
No, they were a little bit nervous for it.
No.
Yeah. It was a very. You could see it in the crowd. The faces were like worried, fingernails biting. Certainly towards the end, it was really important for them.
Well, I watched that game with a Leeds fan, and he was a bit worried before the game.
I bet he wasn't during it.
Yeah, but there's
Well, when
nothing-
we scored, he was.
When we scored, they were worried. It shut them up.
I've said all along, haven't I? There's nothing certain in football. Football throws us crazy results all the time. So who knows? It's just that I'm so down about our away form that I can't even imagine an upset. At home, I can imagine an upset, but away from home, I just can't imagine us getting anything. A goal would be nice, you know.
Fuck, man. All right, well, I'm going to finish
tomorrow.
I'm going to finish on positive. We will still mathematically.
How nice would it be though if, like, tomorrow we're coming on here saying, "Well, we were all stupid and wrong."
Oh, I'd love it. I'd love Warren to be subbed on and get the winning header or something like that. Oh my god, that would be amazing. Yeah. All I'm going to say,
these 2 of us going to be stupid and wrong, and 2 of us going to be not. Either way, we can't lose really.
Exactly.
We're all happy.
Can I just say something? I'm gonna predict for tomorrow. I've turned it round. I'm going positive. It'll be 1-1 at like 85th minute. Taiwo Awoniyi, if he plays, or Dennis, straight in the back of the net. Trust me. I'm putting it on that.
But will they take the ball with them, Owen, or will they just be going into the back of the net?
Spence away.
I tell you what, straight in the back of the net. The ball's not there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
What I'm thinking is that, you know, I know boldness may be hereditary, but I hope predictions aren't, because your dad's last one didn't exactly go well.
All right, I'm going to end this on a complete positive. Forest will win tomorrow. We can still mathematically get top 4. And I'm seriously lacking in sleep. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. I can't believe it's been 2 hours. Where's that flown by? I'm sorry. And let me end it with a sorry, because there's no way this has cheered anyone up. If anything, I feel freaking... But let's see what happens tomorrow. Look, tomorrow, I want to come back and I want everyone who's on this panel to eat their own hats with humble pie as Steve Cooper turns a masterclass around and we beat them and we smash them. And as Crypto says, we can still get 3rd place. So, guys, we'll see you for the watch along tomorrow. Tomorrow, soon as that ball gets kicked off, that whistle goes, we do nothing but scream and shout and hope and pray and back them, okay? But fuck me, it's going to be a rough night's sleep tonight. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button if you haven't already. Again, we'll end the stream with an apology. And come on, you Reds.
You Reds.